it's time to bring back the glory. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I give you the one and only Zardonic.
Yo! Thank you. Can you guys hear me or not?
Hey, man, thank you so much for calling in, bro. Like, it is, like, I've been nervous all fucking day. No shit. For you,
don't be such a pussy, dude. Come on. Dude, I mean, I told you. I was going to call, you know. I even set an alarm for it because I'm at my boy's house where I'm producing with my friend Quantum Logic, you know, just jamming, getting something new going on. And I knew I was going to forget about the time, so I just set an alarm, and it just went up, so here I am.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. Like, this has been, like I told you, man, like, I've been feeling like a little kid on Christmas Eve. Like, I'm going to wake up in the morning, and I'm going to get fucking presents and shit, and I'm fucking stoked. That's how it's felt,
Hell
man.
Yeah.
Like, no shit.
Hell yeah, right, Merry fucking Christmas.
It's Christmas in January, motherfuckers.
Hell yeah. Well, you know, Russians actually celebrate Christmas in January.
No shit. I didn't know that.
It's the weirdest shit ever. It's like they don't celebrate. I mean, I think they do celebrate the birth, rebirth, resurrection, whatever the fuck it is, of baby Jesus or whatever, the 24th. And then there's the New Year, but they actually give each other gifts on the 6th or something of January, which is like the day of the, how do you call them, like the dudes, the kings, the kings, Balthasar and Melchior and Gaspar, those dudes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
So this is kind of a Russian Christmas then, I guess.
Right? До свидания.
Yeah. Cool. So what's up? So when I called you guys, I overheard some sad news actually, but I kind of missed the whole thing. Like somebody passed away.
Yeah, it's actually a friend of ours. The show,
dude,
and we also have.
Yeah,
man. It was brutal. It happened. I guess it's almost been a month. I guess what happened. We run a production company called Elite Fiction Entertainment. You know, other than doing what we do here on the show, and his brother Vince Malia, has become a friend of ours, a really good friend of ours, and he's part of that company as well. And his brother Mike was basically run down by a drunk driver. Mike was riding a scooter late at night, and this piece of shit just decided, I'm going to drive drunk on a suspended license, and oops, I hit somebody, and let me just fucking haul ass, and that's basically what he did. And now
some people just never learn, man.
They don't, man. And the guy's done it, I want to say like 5 times he's been caught driving on a suspended, and it's a horrible, horrible thing, man. And our heart, like we were talking about, we mentioned it a couple times tonight, you know, our hearts go out to that family. And, you know, everybody's been put through the ringer with that shit.
Well, I hope some people out there can learn from this lesson. I mean, I'm not a fucking saint. I'm not going to say don't get wasted. Just don't fucking go driving when you're so wasted, you know?
Exactly. That's exactly right, man.
Yeah.
Get wasted every time we do this show.
This right now. When I was growing up, I had gotten pulled over like 3 times in Clearwater. I'm a resident of Lynn, and in Clearwater is like 30 miles down the road at a beach. And the only reason the Clearwater police didn't take me in, which I gathered, was because I wasn't from there, and it would be too much paperwork to deal with, and they let me go. And I think that's bullshit. You know, I actually got away with being completely drunk driving down the road. I still got home and all that, but I stopped drinking and driving because of those situations.
Yeah.
And also back at a city that let me go for doing it because they didn't want to deal with the paperwork. I think that's bullshit. So it's like, you know, in between here.
Well, that's the system for you, you know? I mean, I mean, at least, you know, you learn your lesson and you didn't have to, you know, go through such a tragedy. Because, I mean, I feel for his family, but can you imagine? I mean, well, maybe the guy's just a bastard and doesn't really give a shit, but I mean, if it happened to me, if I was drunk and driving and I ran down somebody, I mean, I would feel like shit, dude. I would be like cursed for life. You know, like my consciousness would be all like disturbed. You know?
Absolutely, man. I couldn't live with myself, man. Like I've gotten in stupid fights and shit and knocked people out and felt bad about it the next day. Like even though I was like completely like, you know, psychotically aggravated and just I was so angry and I hit this guy and knocked him out. But still, the next day, I wondered if they were okay. You know, I was like, man, what if I, hurt that son of a bitch and he didn't get up the next time? You know, it's something like I have a heart, dude, but don't piss me off till I have to knock you the fuck out. But it still makes me feel bad.
We're all human, you know. Nobody feels right after doing any of that. But sometimes somebody just pushes your buttons too much, you know.
Yeah, yep.
So
that's true.
Zardonic,
That's definitely true.
It's all good, you know. I mean, God forgives you, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I've hit motherfuckers with 2x4s and shit, and because they deserved it. But watching them fall to the ground and not get back up immediately, I was just the next day like, oh shit, what if I fucked them up, man? Maybe he has brain damage now. Like, oh shit. But I mean, that's part of being human, like you said, man. Like everybody's born with a sense of regret. You know that that's part of a human emotion. But people like that motherfucker that ran Mike down, they deserve to be in jail and never get out. I hope, and I know it's bad of me to say, but I wish nothing but bad things for that son of a bitch.
Well, that's fair enough. You know, I mean, if a friend of mine actually went through that, you know, if a friend of mine was killed by a drunk driver, I would probably think the same. You know, I guess I'm always just trying to be. That's just my thing. You know, I really hate I hate conflicts. You know, I always like to give everybody a second chance, but it just comes to a point sometimes where, like, when you're personally hurt, like when someone really close to you gets hurt like that. And I mean, well, sadly he passed away. But even if, let's just suppose he was in the hospital and he was recovering. Even that, it just makes you feel like I just want to kick the shit out of this guy. You know, like completely.
Exactly. And that's kind of how we all feel. You know, even though we weren't close with Mike. We know Vince, but we don't know his brother Mike. Even though we don't know him, you know, there's the whole aspect of human thought of revenge. Like we all want to just get a hold of this son of a bitch and just take out everybody's anger and frustration and sadness on him, but we can't do that. And
you know what? At the end of the day, believe it or not, it's just it just doesn't get any better. You know, and at the end of the day, it's just whatever. It's not going to bring anyone back, dude.
Exactly, man. It's just something that, you know, we all have to keep, you know, fresh in our mind from now on to, you know, remember not to do that, not to ever, you know, drive intoxicated like that. Because that thing could happen. I mean, I personally, even if I was drunk, I wouldn't run somebody down and haul ass. But, you know, just remember that, you know.
Yeah,
but,
I hear you. Well, dude, there's actually a reason why I make heavy music, you know. I mean, sometimes if I'm just angry at fucking life, I just woke up this one day and I was fucking angry at life for being life itself. So I'm just writing music, and then or maybe I'm angry because I don't know, something just fucking happened. I'm angry at the fucking world for some reason, and then instead of being just a dick, I become a dick when I'm making music, and then something completely horrendous and heavy comes out of it. And then when I'm finished with the track, I'm like the happiest hippie you can think of. It's like, hey, let's party. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about, man. It's like when we do this show, we haven't been on the air for like 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. And we came back, and we wanted to save, you know, you calling in for when we came back, you know, as our return for 2015. We wanted to do that. But it's the same thing, man. Like me and Tony both. We used to front bands, and it's definitely a release, and you do feel better once you get that out. Once you write the song and you sing that song and you get that aggression and that feeling of whatever it is, sadness, you know, just being pissed off or just something you need to talk about. You know,
it's absolutely healthy. You know, and it's funny how some like it's funny how some of these major media outlets, like, during the years. I mean, I think they just kind of dropped it in the recent years. But remember, like, back in the 90s, how all these, and I quote from Maddox's book, The Alphabet of Manliness, M is for Metal. He was saying, like, angry menstruating women and Christian conservatives were trying to ban metal because they were afraid of the influence of metal, like, in teenagers and making people angry. I mean, and then he says, it's funny, he says, like, now we know for a fact they were right. But the truth is, I mean, it's just a joke, though. But the truth is, I'm actually, like, most of the metalheads that I've met, dude, they're, like, the most, like, amazing people I've ever met. They're super cool. Everybody's happy. They're just, you know, like, they're just kind of, like, draining out that anger from whatever, because everybody has everybody has to feel shit. I actually think there's like this group of people, I don't know, it's like there's this new trend on being obsessed about being happy. You just have to be happy. It's like depression, no, that's bad. Anger, that's bad. That's negativity. I'm like, dude, I mean, that's just being human. If you're gonna be depressed, just be depressed. Like, embrace it, accept it. It's fucking natural, and then drain it out with something. Like, let it go. But it's like there seems to be this obsession about I just have to be happy, and then you suppress everything else, and then it's like it's holding back, and then when you less know it, you fucking flip the fuck out because some douchebag at a bar, for example, said something to you, and then you kick his ass. You know what I'm saying?
And it was just that moment. You're in that moment of aggression, and it sucks, man. But, I mean, you know, again, that's part of being human. You find that emotion, you work through it, and you move on.
So I want to ask you a question. Tell me, as well as the listeners, how did you start out from the beginning to now? How did that go through all these years, and how did you get from A to B, you know?
Well, I mean, I was experimenting with a lot of stuff. Like, I remember before 2004, when I officially made my first Zardonic track, which actually never came out. It was this one album that I did called Subsonic Stigmata. Like, maybe if you go on Soulsick, you can find it, I think. And I don't mind if you get it on there. Like, it's not like I ever sold it. It was just something I gave away for free. I was experimenting. I mean, this is like the funniest shit ever. Like, somebody would expect me to say something like super badass, like, I just recorded sounds from the depths of hell. I'm not, dude. I basically was a huge metalhead, well, still am, but I had this girlfriend who was really into electronic music, but she was into the good shit. Like, she would show me, Aphex Twin, The Prodigy, the old Chemical Brothers, Underworld, like all the good shit. So, so I kind of got into that through her, and she was also like a huge Alice in Chains fan. And I started doing this because I kind of wanted to impress her. I was like, hey, I'm feeling this. Hey, check it out. I made some electronic music. And, that's kind of how it all panned out. I mean, well, we ended up, we broke up a long time ago. I was like 19 or something, 20 years old or something. Yeah, like 19. And then, I mean, I just kept doing it because I was already falling in love with it. And I discovered drum and bass, and I was blown away by it. It was the first drum and bass stuff that I heard was by, I think it was Congo Natty, this like old school ragga jungle guy, and then I discovered Diesel Boy sets, and then I went to Noisia, and I started discovering all these hard drum and bass guys, and the Therapy Sessions guys, Dylan, Line Wax, Current Value, all the heavy shit, and I was digging it, and I kind of did some, I would say, I was mostly doing strictly drum and bass, but I don't know, it was like this metal just kept calling me back somehow, but then I realized that I was always like a solo musician, right? So I always had a hard time having a band, and especially in a country like Venezuela, dude, like getting a band to perform. I mean, and you know how it goes, it's probably the same struggle everywhere. Getting a band to perform, you're 4 or 5 guys, and then the sound engineer if you have one. And then, if you're going to tour, you either need a van, or if not, you need to get someone to pay for, like if you're going to travel overseas, for example, then you need not 1 but 5 plane tickets, maybe 12 if you're going to bring your sound engineer and your girlfriends. And then You know, and then you're charging like maybe $5,000 if you made a decent name, which you have to split between 5 guys and the sound engineer. And I'm like, dude, I mean, am I really gonna, you know, spend this much time and effort to end up like that? I mean, I'd just rather be a DJ and put some metal into my own stuff, you know. And that's how it started, you know. And I enjoyed it because it was an easy way for me to get my music to people out there, and then I started doing these sets that had some tracks by other producers that I admired, and some of my own strictly drum and bass tracks, and some of my metal mashups, unofficial remixes, which then started to become official remixes. Some bands started they commissioned me to do actual remixes, which is a great thing because I only did it. I wasn't really trying to rip anyone off or anything. It was more like a tribute. It's like, okay, I wanna get away with playing, for example, I don't know, any track by Sepultura. I'm just gonna mash it up with drum and bass loops so it fits the drum and bass sets. And that's how the whole remixing thing happened. And then I started to take it more seriously, and now I'm making my own metal and drum and bass tracks, and now I'm also putting some electro in it, some breakbeats, some hardcore, other tempos. And that's basically how the whole thing happened, how that metal and drum and bass sardonic sound happened.
Hell yeah, man.
So there you go, A to B, you know.
Yeah, man. No, you said Sepultura, and I guarantee you told Sepultura.
That's right. I'm butting in, but yeah, that's true. What Brian's saying. When I was a kid, I was like 12, 13 years old. I was the biggest Sepultura fan in the world, and I couldn't wait till I was 8 so I could finally get my Sepultura logo, the spine, on my arm.
Well, dude, I mean, Sepultura is that's a big pride for me as well. I would say everybody in Latin America is so proud of that band, because I would say that's pretty much, I mean, we had a lot of great bands. There's also Christian and stuff, which is more underground, but they're awesome as well. But Brazil, when they produced fucking Sepultura, it was I mean, those guys are literally legends. This is the one Latin American band that helped shape the sound of modern metal. You know, it's they were back then. Yeah, like the early thrash stuff and the thrash black metal stuff, especially with their Morbid Visions album and stuff like that. So those guys for us are I mean, Max Cavalera is my fucking idol, dude. If I ever meet that guy, which is probably going to happen soon, actually. Hopefully, there's a couple things going on over there, so maybe something could happen. Hopefully, some featuring. I'm not disclosing anything. There's not an actual plan, but now that I'm here in the U.S., let's just say that it's it's easier to knock on all these doors because they're right here.
Yeah, right. I mean, we're stuck right here in Florida, man, and it's the birthplace of death metal. You know what I mean? And
I hear you.
That's one thing we had an advantage of growing up here. That we had the first look at bands, like Gorguts and fucking.
Dude, I fucking love Gorguts.
Gorguts is the shit, man. There was a show back in the day, which is kind of what inspired me to do this show, called The Pit on 98 Rock. They still play it, but it's watered down shit now. But back when I was a kid, and we had cassettes. I would make sure I had an alarm set for midnight on Saturdays, and I would put my cassette in and just hit record and just record the whole shit. I had the thing where it would flip sides on the tape for you, and I'd wake up on Sunday morning and I'd have just crazy shit on this tape, and I would grab my skateboard and I'd put my Walkman on and just fucking get down the road, dude.
Dude, that's everyone's story. Shit. Thankfully, I think there was at least one guy. There's at least, from back in the day, there was at least one guy in every single town and city in the world. I mean, even if it was the smallest place on the planet, there was at least one dude with a metal show that nobody really knew about except for the metalheads. I don't know, at least where I'm from, dude, you see all these little towns in the middle of nowhere where you would never expect that there would be anything such as a metal scene. And even if it's just 200 or 300 people who are the same 300 people that attend the shows, but in like this little towns that probably had 1,000 people, you know. And then I would always hear like different shows everywhere. I'm like, and these people from these places that were in the middle of nowhere in Venezuela. I was like, dude, I mean, you really have a radio show over there? Like places like, I mean, I don't know. Just think of like the smallest town, the smallest shithole you can think of. Like 10 of them, and then you find all these guys playing metal everywhere. And I would record all of the shows, take them with my Walkman, and I would spend hours recording, like, when I didn't have my Discmans, because back in the day, having a Discman was, like, the shit, and I didn't have a Discman. I had my old Walkman, so I had to record everything from a CD to a cassette, and I would go around with this huge, like, it was like this little, like, super shiny neon-colored white thing that held 20 cassettes. And I was walking around with my Walkman and 20 cassettes everywhere. It was hilarious, dude. I mean, just thinking about that, and it's like, and these days you have a fucking iPod, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude, no, because, like, seriously, when I was a kid and I was into metal and I was into thrash and I was into early punk and stuff like that, it sucked if you didn't have a Walkman and you skated, because if you had a disc player, CD player, even if you had, like, the little strap that went on your arm or whatever, that motherfucker would skip so bad. Like, you'd try to, like, clear a gap. Listen to, like, fucking, I don't know, like, Pestilence or Suicidal Tendencies or something, and you'd be like, yeah, this is my shit, dog. Let me clear this gap. As soon as you hit the board in the ollie, dude, that motherfucker would skip. But if you had a cassette, there was no chance in hell of that bitch skipping on you. So
yeah, I mean, actually, cassettes, I think to this day, I mean, I read it somewhere. It was like, well, not like the regular cassettes that you would buy to record stuff, but like the chromium cassettes, like the chromium tapes. I think they are still the highest quality media that you can find for audio. Like it has like the highest resolution or something. So technically, if you can record like a 192K hertz master from a studio on a chromium tape, you get better quality than from a vinyl or a CD. And a vinyl also has like a superior quality. Like there is truth to that. It has dude, I keep. I'm sorry. It's like since English is not really my first language, I keep. Spanish and English keep switching on and off in my brain. So I'm like, sometimes I'm thinking in English, sometimes I'm translating, and then I get all like, you know?
No. I promise you, I understand exactly what you're saying, because even in English, I can't explain the quality of a vinyl record versus a CD. There's just something about that vinyl that makes the sound more earthy, more real, more personable than plopping in a fucking chrome.
Well, there are many factors that come into play. Like, well, the first thing is it's not the resolution. How do you call that? Like, because the resolution is actually 16-bit, 24-bit, and stuff. But see, I forgot the name. It's like sometimes I don't know a lot of all these technicalities. The sample rate. There you go. Vinyl has a broader sample rate. Like it goes up till 96,000 hertz. So that's twice as much. I think it's a bit more actually. It's a bit more than twice as much from a CD, which is 44,100 hertz or something. That's the number.
No, it's ridiculous.
So you do have a broader sample rate, and on top of that, there's also the needle. Like you're actually hearing a little noise from the needle, the wear from the vinyl, and depending on which needle you're using, it would also change the sound, the character, and everything. So I mean, there's a lot of factors that come into place. But when you're playing a CD, the only thing that will affect the sound is literally your stelleo.
Right.
So yeah. Well, there you go. In technical terms, and in
everybody's brain is fucking fried right now. They're like, what are they talking about?
Well, fair enough. I mean, fair enough. It's Saturday, and for normal people like us, we're pretty much hungover from yesterday as well.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, brother. Well, hey, man, let's go ahead, because a lot of our listeners have been hearing us talk about you. They don't know much about Zardonic. I know you go by many names, but right now you're going by Zardonic.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and play. I want to play my personal, honest first song I ever heard by you. And this was a good buddy of mine, Jason Brostek. He goes by DJ Mystic Mind. He's real big into drum and bass jungle, and I got into that shit about the same time he did back in '96, '97, and we just kind of came up on it. But he was the reason that I had originally got in touch with you. He's like, man, I know you love metal, dude. You got to check this guy out, and that's the day I hit you up. So this is the first song I ever heard by Zardonic here, all the way from what date are you in right now? I can't remember what you said.
What do you mean? What date or what state?
No, what city, like state? Where are you at right now?
I'm in Maryland. Well, I'm actually in Virginia.
Oh, awesome!
Oh shit,
dude,
you're in Virginia,
seafood.
bro.
It's amazing.
Hey, yeah. I'll let you in on a straight American just pastime. Look for some moonshine.
Oh yeah, I've heard about it. I've heard about it. There's actually a couple friends that told me about it.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh,
it's amazing. It makes shit that comes from the liquor store look stupid. So.
All right, I'll try it out.
All right, brother. We're gonna go ahead and play the first track I ever heard by Zardonic here. This is Bring Back the Glory. And I know I asked you what songs you wanted me to play, man, and I was so happy that you said this one. So this is it, man. This is Bring Back the Glory. And we'll be right back here on Metal International.
Thank you, brother. This is so awesome.
right, we're back. And that was the first track you're going to hear from Zardonic tonight. And honestly, that shit has been on my playlist for a good little minute.
Well, I'm glad you guys dig it.
Oh, I love that shit, man.
Yeah.
It just,
what were you asking? Sorry, how did I what?
It's straight and to the point, man. I love it.
Yeah. That tune is actually, like, the whole inspiration behind it was, like, which is actually kind of my inspiration these days. Well, sometimes I'm also touching on other topics, like the new album, the album that's going to come out soon. It's probably March or April, I think, through E1 Music. I basically, it's full of Bring Back the Glories on steroids. You know, the whole album is
for sure.
Yeah, it's like the whole album is just metal with drum and bass, and then metal with electro, and then metal with glitch hop. And the original idea was to have like different vocalists featured, but I don't know. Some people, I was gonna have some friends and then some big names, but some of them were not available. Some of them went straight up like, "What's your budget?" And I'm like, well, you know. So I just ended up being like, I did the vocals for Justice because I needed the vocals for that one because it was the single that was going to come out before anything else. And then the label was like, dude, just fucking sing on all of the tracks yourself. Like, screw the featuring, just do it yourself. And I'm like, all right. And that's what I did.
That takes all the bullshit out of it right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, dude, I'll get you guys a promo copy of it as soon as as soon as the whole thing is like officially finished. I mean, I turned it in, but I'm basically just waiting to wrap up everything, like the artwork and the final version. See if there's any changes that we have to do or not, and then when everything is done, I'll make sure you guys can get a how do you call it, like a promo copy. Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's good shit, man. I appreciate it.
Zardonic. How did you come up with the name Zardonic?
Yeah, how did you come up with it, man?
Well, I mean, I was listening to a lot of black metal back in the day. I still do, actually. So, and I remember this album by this German legendary band called Beetlehem, and they had this album called Zardonic Untergang im Zeichen religiöser Darbietung, or whatever the fuck you say it. and then I took the word Zardonic out of it, but I mean, it's funny because at first I didn't really know what it meant. I thought it was just a German word, but it kind of sounded cool to me, and then I researched, and I was like, okay, here's the meaning of the word sardonic, and I'm like, cool. So I started calling myself DJ Zardonic with an S, but then I realized, I don't know, I wasn't entirely content with the name, so I just came up and removed the whole DJ thing from it, and then I changed the S with a Z. Just, I don't know, I guess I basically wanted the name to be unique. Like, if you Google Zardonic with a Z, there's nothing else you'll find except for my stuff. And, well, there's this one character that some kid did for a book. I read it. It was pretty cool. It was a kid who did a book, and he had a character called Zena Zardonic with a Z. It was this pretty hot, weird-ass goth chick, and I thought it was pretty cool anyway, so I'm not, I'm not angry like that. Oh, my name is mine, you cannot have it. It's just like, I just wanted people to find me first if they ever Google that. So, I mean, if somebody else actually comes up with that name, cool, but if you Google that, it's like, well, yeah, there's like a million pages with the Zardonic name on it, and it's a DJ that wears a mask with some Predator dreadlocks or something, so yeah. You know, it's funny that actually I was never inspired in Predator, but everybody sees the whole thing. Oh, yeah. It's like a mixture between Spawn and Predator. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, but
holy shit. I've actually explained it to people like that. I'm like, imagine like a futuristic fucking Spawn mixed with Predator. That's what his mask looks like. Like, that is too fucking funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I wasn't really thinking about Spawn or Predator, although I do like the character of Spawn, like the whole idea of a guy that came from the depths of hell, but it's kind of an anti-hero. He's not evil, he's not good, he's just beyond good and evil. I like that concept.
Exactly. It's just kind of reaching there and he's trying to find his own way, man.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is what everybody should do. Is like, I mean, I guess there's a certain set of natural rules, but at the end of the day, dude, sometimes I believe in words good and evil. I mean, good deeds and bad deeds. But the truth is, sometimes It's like there should be a middle point between what is absolute and what is relative. I don't think either or are absolute, because the relativists will also say that is the absolute thing. You know, everything is relative, and I don't really think it works like that. It's more like there should be a middle ground between it. It's like in some cases this is what you have to do, and in other cases maybe you have to twist things around because there was no other way around it. So
right, it's a situational type thing.
Exactly. So yeah, that's how the Zardonic happened. The Zardonic name came to happen. I mean, and the mask. It's funny because I mean I always had that logo, and basically the mask happened because I needed people to remember the logo, so I just put it on my face. That was it at first. Like there was no mystical concept behind it. But then the first time that I wore the mask and I saw myself in the mirror was like, holy shit. Like I saw an entire different universe. I was like, okay, this thing could be a comic character. This thing could be a video game. This thing could be a superhero, a villain, an anti-hero, or anything. It's like I started thinking about a lot of ideas. And there's a lot of people who expect that, actually, so maybe I'll do something, but I do want people to understand that this is a DJ act with metal. Because there's a lot of people out there. It's just funny. For example, on my Facebook page, I keep seeing some of the new kids that recently liked the page, for example. Then I'm posting something about my tracks, and you get, it's like I get some comments like, "Oh, wait, so you make music?" I'm like, "Yeah, what the fuck do you think I was? Some sort of comic character?" They're like, well, fair enough.
we thought you were a fucking vigilante. Like, what happened?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, well, check this out. We're gonna go ahead real quick, man, and we're gonna play. We're gonna kind of mix your music in with some other bands here. We're definitely gonna go into overtime tonight. But there are some other bands that I was gonna play. Overtime basically for us means that our show goes into the archive. After 10 o'clock, the live show stops, and then about 5 to 10 minutes after that, people can listen to it, and it's there on the archive for anybody to listen to after that. So that's what we're going to end up doing. But I wanted to play a certain band for you from here where we are in Florida, from Orlando.
Okay.
This band, I'm going to kind of like mix up your stuff with some other bands and just kind of get your take on them also, because I do definitely respect your opinion.
I'm all about that. You know, I'm all about hearing new stuff.
Hell yeah! All right, well, this band right here, we've been playing this band on our shows. On our previous show, was it Wednesday Night Metal Mania was our original show. We promoted bands strictly from Florida, and we decided to branch out into this show. So when you hear the chick from Blog Talk come on the phone and say some other shit, just don't. 8 seconds is how much time I got. Or some dumb shit. But anyway, she's gonna shut off the live show here in just a minute, which is fine. You guys can, if you're listening, wait a few minutes. You can come back to it. Unfortunately, you can't call in and talk to us, but you can listen to the show continually. Just wait about 5 minutes. You can go back and listen to it. So, we ran a little long tonight, but you know what? It's as to be expected with an artist such as Zardonic. But we're going to go ahead. I want to show you this band, man, because I wanted you to definitely hear them, which is why I put them up tonight. This is a band called Gargamel.
Okay.
The name Gargamel, I guess.
Yeah, I totally know where it comes from, and I'm loving it already.
Exactly. Hell yeah. Well, they're honestly, man, and I don't even know how to explain them any better than this. If you took a band and twisted it with just metal and a bunch of craziness, this is it. I don't know.
Okay.
If Blog Talk does shut us off,
that's a pretty accurate explanation.
Oh, yeah. It's really twisted. Now, if Blog Talk does shut us off because they're known to do that, I apologize ahead of time, man. So let's see what happens.
All right. Well, let's listen to it.
We're good. All right, I was looking at the clock. I'm like, 5, 4, 3. We've got into overtime without any dickheads cutting us off, so here we go. All right, man. Well, this is a band I definitely wanted you to hear. There's probably a couple more that I wanted you to hear. So you'll recognize a couple of them, but this one right here, this is Gargamel. Good friends of our show, awesome guys, really good musicians, and this song is called Cold and Twitchy. Now that kind of reminded me of an Aphex Twin type title, because their shit is always just weird as fuck. But this song is cold and twitchy, and it's really heavy, and it's just I don't even know how to explain it, man. Just check it out. Now the phone quality on the tracks that we play, honestly, over the phone, it sucks bad because it cuts in and out. But on the live show and the archive, it's fine. It's totally fine. So don't worry. All right, so this is Gargamel from Orlando, Florida. I highly suggest the listeners out there check them out if you haven't already. Look on their Facebook. Go to the Reverb Nation page. You can listen to these tracks there as well. Also YouTube. So this is Gargamel with Cold and Twitchy. Here we go.
I know a lie. I think I'll say it 1,000 times. No one will know. Every time I say it grows. Not what you are thinking of. The nose on my face will not display its grace. Maybe Geppetto would know. The one with the soul is the one in control. I spend my life just telling lies until someone will realize. And finally they will tell me, stop. I'll find a new way to deceive. Take what you need and leave me just enough to believe you will remain beside me and inside my veins. I wish that you were alive, suddenly you were. I'm just so afraid that you are just what I deserve. Punish me with your eyes. Your body died, but your love's still alive. I spend my life just telling lies until someone will realize. And finally they will tell me, stop. I'll find a new way to deceive. I'll spend my life just telling lies until someone will realize. And finally they will tell me, stop. I'll find a new way to deceive you today. You fall into the fire. They went to slow. We're climbing a little higher. But now you're mine. You will always be a part of me.
All right, and we're back, man. That was Gargamel from Orlando, Florida, with Cold and Twitchy.
All right.
Cool ass
That
song.
sounded pretty cool, actually. It seems to be a bit of a crazy mix. I love the music. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I wasn't like a huge fan of the vocals, but that's more of a thing of taste. I mean, they were well executed. It's just maybe not my thing. But the music, I thought it was off the chain.
Yeah, they're definitely
cool.
one of those. I mean, we've been doing this show and our other show like combined together for probably, what do you think, Tony? Like a year and a half, almost 2 years, something like that.
All right.
And it's funny because like we run across bands that definitely stand out to us as something different, you know. And there's absolutely something different going on there. I'm gonna give it a second listen. I'm gonna look into it because the music's really interesting. Might just be one of those things that you really need to listen to for a while to let it sink in. But I thought it was something interesting in it, something different, you know. Yeah, for sure. Like they definitely bring that. Gargamel has been just cool as ice to us, man, since the beginning back in our old show. And the singers actually called in. They've played with bands like Guar, Green Jello, Jelly, whatever you want to call it. They've played with a ton of different bands. They're pretty cool, man. And for them to be a local band here in Florida, we've ran across a lot of different bands here in Florida. I mean, they run the gamut from being just the cookie cutter shit to something that's just amazing. And those bands, like I said, that stand out is what we continue to promote worldwide. Because we are here in Florida, and that was our goal, was to go international and play these bands from our world, but at the same time promote our bands from here in Florida, and that's what we continue to do.
Yeah, fair enough, dude. Well, I think, you know what, I think that's actually really cool because, I mean, if there's something that I've heard from most recent bands, it's like, I don't know what's going on with metal recently, dude. It's like the whole thing lost its edge. It's like there's hardly anything interesting out there. You just keep hearing all these two-cutting bands, like you said. So I think that's pretty rad. You guys are actually taking the time to look, really investigate into all these bands and see what really stands out. That's pretty rad.
Hell yeah. That was the whole point of the show. When we first started this thing, was like, man, so many bands get into clubs because they have a draw. They bring all these people into the clubs and they play these shows. Those are the bands that make it in the scene of Florida, in the scene. But at the same time, there's all those bands that are that good that don't actually get to play and tour, the state of Florida and beyond, that need to have their music put out there. And that's kind of what we wanted to do, was bring that music to the forefront so that everybody knows, it's not just a bunch of the same old vanilla shit.
Yeah.
Well, dude, that's awesome because, there's always musicians, like musicians always need people like you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's always, I don't know, dude. I've also seen a couple things in the scene in general, like how if you know this person and if you're buddies with this other guy and blah blah blah, and then you get it's all politics, dude. It sucks. But then again, that's just the way the game is. There's kind of seems to be no way around it. But then again, I mean, if there's people like you pushing stuff out there, then I'm glad.
Well, that's what we're here for, man. Because like I said, me and Tony both have played in bands, and we realized a long time ago how hard it is to get your music out to the masses. And you see a shittier band, a band that's worse than you are. I mean, you might be a pretty good band, but then there's this fucked up, stupid band that knows tons and tons of people and can grease the palms of all these club promoters and shit and club owners and get the band as a headliner for the night, even though they suck dick.
Yeah.
But your band is better, and you're playing, third from last, and it sucks, even though you're a good band. That's what we're here for.
Dude, you know what? These days, I think pretty much it all comes down, I think, to how many likes you have on Facebook. that's the truth.
And that's the fucking thing right there, man.
I mean, it's funny, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, I also played that game, like, not on purpose, not like I was chasing likes, but I saw, for example, this last gig that I got booked for in Russia, which is going to happen the 21st of February, I was looking at the order of the artists, right? So I think I'm in second or third place, and then next to me, I'm seeing a couple guys which are like fucking huge legends to me. Like I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? It's like, so I'm like, that is really, and I'm like, I'm flattered, that's a beautiful thing to happen to me, but, I also, respect my elders, it's like, I believe I know where I'm standing, I know I know how much reach my name has, but I also know how much reach my name doesn't have, because these guys are like legends, right? And then I'm looking at their Facebook pages, and it's like, okay, yeah, the first one has 100,000 likes, the second one has 95,000 likes, the third one, which is me, has nearly 80,000. The fourth one has 60,000. I'm like, okay, that's how it goes.
Yeah,
so it's
shitty, man.
It's just crazy, And it's funny because these days there's a lot of people who can just buy likes, I mean, I don't really see the
point with it, man.
Yeah, I don't really see the point because if you buy numbers, then you don't really know who you're marketing your stuff out to.
Right, they're fucking cheating to do that. See, that's why our show remains to be an underground show right now. All right, we're a cunt hair under being 400 likes, and we've been doing this shit hardcore and just reaching out and doing thing and paying respect, but we refuse to pay for fucking likes, dude. That is the lamest shit I've ever heard.
Don't do that.
That's like giving free tickets away to a show because you want to have people show up and say they like you. That's fucking bullshit. As a musician, as an artist, that is the lamest shit you could possibly do. You want people
you're not really building you're not really building a solid base for your stuff, because it means, I mean, you're going to get those numbers for that moment, but then it's like you're going to get a lot of attention with that little stunt, but when you need to deliver, what are you really going to deliver, you know? So I'd rather have 400 guys that I'm delivering something for and they're interested than having 10 million that are not really interested, you know?
Yeah.
So...
But it is what it is, man. We got to play the game the rest of the world wants us to play to some extent.
True that.
I want to play for Justice real quick, but before I do that, tell me how in the hell you got into this Full Metal Jungle tour with DJ Starscream, which is Sid Wilson's Slipknot. How did you get that together?
All right. Well, basically, there's this agency called 313 Entertainment, right? They're basically working for Sid's solo bookings as a DJ, and they are partnering with Cybergroove Agency, which is the agency that takes care of my bookings. So they were like, we basically want to, partner up and see if we can put on some tours and shows with our artists together with your artists, because the guy has a lot of connections. So he basically said, let's get DJ Starscream and Zardonic and make some metal stuff together. That's perfect. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this, you know? So, I mean, it is a possibility. We're currently working on all of the dates. Like, I mean, my agents keep hitting me up saying, oh, dude, we're getting all sorts of requisitions from everywhere. Everybody's all into this. So I'm really happy. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm sure we're going to be able to announce some dates soon. But, so far, we're pretty much putting it out there, like putting the announcement like, hey, this is available. So promoters get on it. And I'm going to tell you something, man. It's like there's this weird thing, and I mean, I'm happy you mentioned that, because I kind of, like, you could probably, I don't know, like, if you know anybody down in Florida that you believe could be into this, you just fucking tell them, dude. Be like, hey, dude, bring this down here. Because I believe, like, when you have names that draw attention, you got Starscream, you got Zardonic, sure. But, when the fans, when the actual people approach the promoters, at least that's the way I've done it all my life. I always get fans. Like, I always talk to my fans on my page, for example. Be like, hey, dude, why don't you come to fucking, I don't know, Milan, Italy? I'm like, do you know any promoters around there? Like, just any contacts you can think of. Maybe we can approach them. And he's like, some of them are like, I don't really know anybody, but others are like, yeah, sure, I know him. And then they give me the contacts, and then we approach them, and we say, hey, we had some fans, saying that you are a really fucking sick promoter, and they love you, and they want me to play in your parties, and I want to play in your parties because my fans fucking love you, or some love you like that. And then that's how we make it
right
happen.
Now. I can tell you this right now, because I can speak for myself and my partner here at Chainsaw, Anthony. We want you in Florida, man. We want you in Central Florida. There are places in the Tampa Bay area, Tampa, Florida. There are also places in the Orlando area. I can suggest a couple right now. In St. Petersburg, Florida, there's a place called the State Theater, which probably would be perfect. In Orlando, you've got, I believe it's called Firestone. I don't know what name they go by now, but look at the Orlando area. Definitely the House of Blues in Orlando. would be an amazing venue for you guys to do your tour, because we've had acts that come through there, like huge national acts. The last band I saw play there was Killswitch Engage, which is one of my favorite bands. And we had that place completely packed to the doors, and it's such a good venue because of two things. Well, actually, three things. The soundboard, the guy running the sound knows his shit. The lighting effects and just the stage itself are amazing. And number three, it's air conditioned like a son of a bitch. So you can be up there hot as shit, but the air condition is nice and cold. It's amazing, man. But
all right,
definitely check out.
Well, that sounds fucking rad. You know, that sounds fucking rad. And now that you're telling me about it, that's awesome, because we can always just make a connection there or something, or I don't know, maybe get you guys like some press access VIP thing, something. I don't know, something, and then you guys get in there and we grab a lot of booze and get shit-faced and try to do some interviews while shit-faced live,
Hell yeah, dude. We'll bring video cameras up there, bro. We'll get a live interview. All right. Well, I'm all about that, dude. So that's info, man. So keep me posted if you're coming to Florida, bro. Central Florida, that's where we're at, man. We can definitely make it there, brother. All right, man.
Let's try to make something happen for sure.
Hell yeah, man! I'm definitely looking forward to it. Let's go ahead and play your big single right now off of your new album. Let's play For Justice real quick, man. Let's get that out. And I got some surprises for you too. Like I said, we're gonna kind of mix up your music with some other ones because I wanted to get your take on it. But we're gonna go ahead right now. We're gonna play Zardonic, international DJ, cool guy. Just man, I'm glad you made yourself available to us. And we're gonna play Zardonic For Justice on the Metal International show. So here we go. Ooh. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You just heard For Justice by DJ Zardonic. And having a hell of a time talking to him here on the show, man. Thank you so much for calling in, bro.
No worries, man. I'm glad to do this, you know, and I'm glad you guys invited me. So, hey, let's fucking do this anytime. You know, I mean, I'm always busy, but I'm always chilling. You know, it's always like I'm always in the studio or I'm hanging out with a friend. Like, I mean, today's fucking Saturday. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like working or anything unless I'm playing a show, which I'm not playing this weekend. Next weekend I will. But in any case, dude, if I can always find time to, you know, reach people out there, I'm happy to. You guys are fucking cool. You know, I was happy that you guys wanted to have me in your show. So, yeah, we can do this anytime, dude. If I find the time, we'll do it.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. I guess I'm going to go ahead and start, dude. And Zardonic, we started this show back in Florida, and we did 50 shows, and we just wanted to get all the Florida bands, metal bands out there, and it turned into a metal global, you know, whole like international thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
That's awesome.
Well, and let's keep pushing it. You know, hopefully some people in the page are also like listening right now, and maybe they'll share your show and be like, hey, listen to these guys, and then the next day you know it. You have fucking people in Tokyo, you know, I mean, listening to your shit and listening to Florida bands. You never fucking know, dude. These days with the internet, like, everything's out there. You just post something and somebody from somewhere will see it, and chances are they can be from anywhere where there's internet, you know?
Yep.
So, yeah.
We did a
all about pushing it.
We did an interview with Paul Mazurkowitz from Cannibal Corpse, which is the drummer. And a website called Blabbermouth.
Yeah, dude. That's my favorite band from Florida.
Fucking legends. Hell yeah, they are. And we talked to Paul for like, I want to say a good 45 minutes to an hour, and it was just the most fun talking to that guy. And a website called Blabbermouth.net, which is one of the biggest like metal news sites.
Yeah. I've seen it, sure.
Hell yeah, they picked our interview up and they put us on their page there, and that was really cool, man, to be able to be part of that. So
no, that's awesome, dude. Well, let's do that. You know, you said this thing is going it's going to an audio archive, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, cool. I'm gonna put that in the page later. Like, hey, for those who missed the show, you can hear it right here. But let's do that for sure.
That's cool, man. I would definitely appreciate that.
No worries, man. You're helping me out. I'm helping you out. That's how I roll.
Hell yeah, man. That's cool, dude. That's exactly the way things should be, man.
Yeah, I agree, man.
There's a lot of bands here in Florida and actually California and other states as well. And also around the world that you know, since we started doing this show, that we're kind of getting our name out there. And you know, this is something we do because we love to do it. We don't get paid for this shit. You know, our sponsors basically are our promoters, and we just kind of do this thing for the love of it, man.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I mean, it's the underground, you know. That's the only way we can keep it alive, you know. And it's always a struggle, but then again, that's also what makes it authentic. So
right. You know, there's radio stations here in Florida that claim to be metal, like, oh, we're in 98 Rock. That's the big one down here in Tampa. And I have a big beef with 98 Rock in particular, because they say that, you know, we're hard, you know, 98 Rock, and we play all the metal. And, dude, they play the same shit all the time, and it's just aggravating. You know, we don't get to hear it. We hear new bands because that's what the promoters pay for 98 Rock to play, and it sucks. You have to, like I told you before, we have to wait until midnight on Saturdays to hear anything that we would actually probably buy or listen to on a daily basis. You know, it's hard to find new bands that are actually worth the shit because of all the money exchanging hands and you know, all that crap, and it sucks, man. Like,
it's just weird how things are working. I just checked out this report or something and how like different genres are dominating the current radio spectrum and shit, and how 1% of it was metal. 1 fucking percent.
Exactly.
It's like, what the fuck's going on, you know? And on top of that, if this 1% are radio stations that are like, you know, playing the same shit all over again, it's like not even within the metal spectrum we're getting. So I don't know, man. You guys gotta take over. That's what I'm saying. And I think, you know what? I think these days with the whole, again, that's the magic of the internet for you. Is like there's no more. I mean, sure, there's the major media outlets for sure, and then that still happens.
Right.
But these days, dude, you get a fucking blog. You can potentially get as much attention. I mean, the best example is this guy who is like completely fucking. I mean, who's this guy again? I forgot his name. PewDiePie. You know the YouTube guy, the YouTube celebrity. I mean, well, it's like what the fuck does that guy even do? You know, I mean, I'm not hating on the guy, but seriously, when I watched a couple of his videos after he went like. I saw this series in news about the guy. That's how I came to know the guy, about how he was going to disable all comments on YouTube videos because there's a lot of haters and shit. And I was like, he's fucking right. You know, I hate YouTube commenters. I just hate it, man. There are these people saying so much dumb shit. I'm like, dude, freedom of speech much? You know what I'm saying? It's like some people just need to shut the fuck up, dude. And then this guy went all dictator on their asses, and now he's disabling comments. So I'm like, fuck yeah. So I'm checking out his videos, and I'm completely disappointed, you know? But, I mean, in any case, what I'm saying here is, like, I'm not really hating on the guy, you know, whatever. Each to their own. Yeah. But what I'm saying is somebody like that can get literally millions of followers by doing whatever the fuck, like, uninteresting shit he does. So if that can happen, dude, you guys can fucking take over the internet. I can. Everybody can. My mom can. You know?
Right. And, you know, dude, honestly, I'll be straight up honest. It made me laugh that you said PewDiePie because I actually liked the guy to begin with because, like, you know, when I'm 37 years old. I would listen and watch my friends play video games growing up, and it's kind of like in the beginning, it was kind of like hanging out with your friend and laughing at the dumb shit they did while they're playing a video game. That's what it started out like. And now PewDiePie, he makes so much money doing dumb fucking YouTube videos that just little kids and shit that probably shouldn't watch his videos eat it up. You know, and it's just because he's just well known and people know his name, and there's tons of people like in the video game genre in itself. All right, if you go to YouTube and like just for instance put in Minecraft, and I can tell you this because I've watched it go down in my own household. There's a guy called Stampy fucking Longnose. Stampy Longnose. The most annoying British fucking idiot you've ever heard in your life. Like I want to see you make it through one of his videos without going, what the fuck? Like, dude, it is just Minecraft, all right? Like, Minecraft, I've played Minecraft. I can kind of get into it. It's all right, cool. You can build some cool shit, whatever like that. But this fucking guy takes it a step further into this ridiculous realm of just talking a bunch of nonsense and laughing at your own jokes and making a bunch of stupid shit. Now, the funny thing is my 6-year-old loves it, and my 2 stepsons, they're 10, they love it because they're kids. They don't know any better. They think he's the shit because he makes all this cool stuff on Minecraft. But adults, we can't make it through 5 minutes of his annoying shit. But that motherfucker, dude, he makes so much money off of these dumb-ass videos. And that's what the internet
and I mean, fair enough, you know? That's something... I mean, I guess there's a certain genius in that if you think about it. You know, that's what I'm saying. I'm not really hating on the guys. I'm just not feeling that. But then again, what I'm saying is, if that worked and if that gets people's attention, then we might have to find a way to twist things around and be like, I mean, because the truth is, dude, I mean, people talk. You know, that's the truth. And if you post something somewhere and it gets that much attention without the help of any big media outlets, without any promoters pitching in any money or controlling, with no, you know, big guy upstairs controlling shit, then that's just the people talking to you. That's actually socialism right there. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, dude, I mean, if people are actually feeling this stuff, then, you know, maybe there's something to it. Maybe people just need, I don't know, some dumb shit for a change sometimes. Like maybe they just want to chill like turn their minds off for a bit and just. I've realized that it's like it seems to be painful for people to think. You know what I'm saying?
It's always
and these guys realize that, and then they make something stupid and they get money out of it.
Yeah. Like, seriously, man, we could come on here every fucking Saturday night and make a bunch of fart jokes and like, spin it to, like, you know, become relevant to current fucking media, Fox News and bullshit events, but we don't do that. We get on here, and I can speak for myself and Chainsaw as well. We both drink beer during the show, and we get a little hammered before the end, but we're not
cheers
fake,
to that,
dude.
because I'm rocking out a huge-ass 2-liter bottle of Jameson right here, so.
Oh, you're lucky as fuck, man. I'm drinking, like, Natty Daddy and shit.
No, well, if this makes you feel better, I didn't buy it. I'm actually broke right now. My boy hooked me up.
That's why I'm drinking this bullshit.
I mean, that's the thing with artists, you know, like, our career is pretty much, like, we get, like, a big lump of money in maybe a week. Boom, shitload of money from shows, and then you spend a month working on tunes, and then you have to pay your rent, and then you have to invest in this new tool, and then you have to pay ads, and then the money's gone. Then you go out and play and do the same thing all over again. You know? But I mean, you know, I'm not really complaining. I'm happy with what I've got, you know.
Right. That's the thing that, like, especially kids nowadays, they don't realize it, you know, that like, in the metal genre itself, that, you know, you go to a show and you see this band, like, just for instance, let's just say Killswitch Engage, okay? You go to a Killswitch Engage show and you see this amazing band that you love so much, and you know all the words to their songs, and you rock their merchandise and shit like that, and you spend, you know, $15 or so to get into the show, okay? Now, if you don't visit that merch table and buy a T-shirt or a CD or at the very least a sticker or a button or some little shit like that, that band is basically paying for their tour, and then all the merchandise is going back to the band. That's how they make their money.
Yeah.
So, and people don't realize that these days because everything is such gimme, and it's like pay me or shut the fuck up. That you know, kids these days they're just so expecting, you know, bands to just give, but they don't realize the work and the money spent to do that, and it's bullshit, man. Like, I really wish more kids, like my own kids, I explain it to them. I'm like, man, look, my son, he just discovered metal last year, and he's 12 years old. And he started off, thank God, with the classics. I mean, he started off with Iron Maiden and Metallica and stuff, and he's working his way into the new stuff. So, you know, I appreciate that as a dad. I'm like, dude, I did something right. Good job, bro.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You know, and, hell yeah. And it's cool because I can explain to him, look, Metallica got to the point that they are now because of the fans buying their merchandise. It's not the fans that go to the shows. It's not all the radio play because the label takes most of that. It's the merchandise, you know. And a lot of people don't realize that. So, like, we always tell people on the show that's kind of why we started doing it in the Wednesday night Metal Mania show, was saying, you know, you guys go to the shows, buy something from the band because they actually get that money directly to themselves. It's not going to a label. It's not going to a promoter. You know, they might get a cut of the door going into the club and all the ticket sales and shit like that, and the you know what?
There's actually, I mean, I totally hear what you're saying, but there's actually, it's kind of like that line of thought is actually a double-edged sword. Because here's the thing, there's actually a, like, this is from my experience with my label right now, E1 Music. Those are, like, the coolest guys I've ever met and super really passionate and dedicated to what they do. And they're, like, the number one independent label in the planet. They have, like, a stupid huge revenue or something. You go to the website and they have, like, 800 million pounds of yearly revenue. It's insane, dude. Like, these guys have a lot of multi-platinum guys and a lot of, but they also support, like, the little guys and stuff. So you see a bunch of bands they got there that they're not exactly multi-platinum, but they're still putting effort and money into them. But then again, that mindset, because I mean, I completely get it because I used to think like that as well. You know, until I got signed to this label, I was like, okay, well, maybe not all labels are evil. You know what I'm saying? Like, when kids think like that, like, because we were used to think like that. Oh no, the labels are just, you know, fucking exploiting artists and they don't give them shit. But the truth is, I mean, at least from my experience and from what I can say from working with E1, dude, I mean, if every single fan out there buys something that was released on E1, I can guarantee you that money will go straight to promote this and keeping it alive.
Right.
Because that's what
Right.
those guys are doing. They're putting money into this. They're making everything happen, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. And then when they get their revenue, they're going to be able to invest in more things. It's like, okay, we sold this much, and now we're going to be able to invest. So it's like, I mean, the way I see it, a label is kind of in some way, it's kind of a bank that loans you something because they believe in you.
Yeah.
And once they get that back from sales, they do it again.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
right.
by
Yeah,
having people
nailed it.
buying stuff from the labels, I mean, I'm not talking about like the big guys or whatever, because like I said, I'm not even sure if I am in a position to judge any big labels, because then again, maybe the game is the same, it's just on a bigger level. But at least if you come to think about it, all these labels, like underground labels and independent labels like Century Media, Metal Blade, like they are truthfully dedicated to their artists, you know,
Yeah,
and they sign something and they put it out there. And if fans decide to just download something, which, I mean, I completely get it, because I'm from Venezuela, dude. Fucking buying something there, good luck at finding a fucking metal store in Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? I got everything up so sick. There was just no other way I could hear it. But now that I'm here, you know, I started paying for everything because there's an access to those things here, so I could get it. But that's the thing. I mean, if you pay for an album and the album was released in a certain label, sure, the label's making their money back and the money goes to the label, but it's because the label is also investing their time and effort and money in these artists. So the more the artist sells, the more the label would put their time and effort and money into these artists. So I guess this is my way of telling you, fucking buy my shit, you know. Fucking buy my records or cure yourselves.
Buy this shit.
Yeah.
Dude. All right. Well, hey man, I've actually been saving this track for you, man. I wanted you to get a taste of this. Have you ever heard of something called 8-bit metal?
No, but I mean, I guess I can't imagine it. Is it like metal made with 8-bit sounds?
All right. The way I kind of explain this band to people is if you were to play like old Castlevania on Nintendo and then mix it with death metal, that's what it is.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember a lot of stuff back in the day. The OC Remix website doing a lot of shit. And there was this band called Game Over from Sweden. I love those guys.
Right.
Cool.
You know, it honestly might be in the same vein as them. These guys right here, we've been playing them for a good little minute. And we told them we would play something new from them. They have a new album out. Unfortunately, I don't have it in front of me, the name of the album, but they're called, and this is the coolest name ever, they're called All Hail the Mustache.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I saw that name in the playlist. That was pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. Actually, that name got the attention.
The first time I heard these guys, I had a few beers, and I was like, you know, Chainsaw brings a lot of shit to me and then just goes, all right, here, you play this, you know, and you'll like it. And that, like, recently I've kind of been more in touch with actually setting up the tracks of the show, which, like, tonight I did every single track of the show, and I tried to kind of, like, fit it to shit you might like or something you may have heard, something similar to it, or maybe something you've never even heard before. And I definitely wanted to bring these guys to you and see what you think. They're from Hollywood, Florida. You know, like I said, they're called All Hail the Mustache. This is a song we've never actually played on the show before. I heard it the other day for the first time, and it just kind of like made me want to play it on this show.
Okay.
This is a song called Coffins, and it's definitely in the vein of 8-bit metal, which is what they do with All Hail the Mustache. And I don't know, man. Tell me what you think, dude. This is All Hail the Mustache from Hollywood, Florida. This is Coffins. Here we go.
All right. Let's check it out.
So there you go, man. That was All Hail the Mustache with Coffins. That's off their new album. If you want to check it out, let me know. Email me or whatever. I'll send you the link. The new album is called...
Absolutely. Send me any links to anything interesting you want me to check out, and I'll listen to it with ease at home, with a good system as well to get the whole thing.
Hell yeah. Well, this album actually has 15 tracks on it. It's called Now That's What I Call Vascular Volume 2. And it's like shit like that right there is the entire album. It's like it does not disappoint. If you liked what you just heard, the whole album is good. I suggest, honestly, track 4, Disco Werewolf. It's a silly name, and that's what they do. But it's a cool song, man. They do, like, all their shit will make you smile. Like, if you like metal in video games, dude, like, that's perfect.
I think you know what's funny? I think, at least these days, like, video games and metal seems to be like a married scene or something. You know, like, I haven't met a single metalhead, at least from this generation, that doesn't like video games. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm actually here hanging out with my boy, and he has like this huge ass Dimmu Borgir and Meshuggah posters in his room, and autographed, motherfucker. and he's like, you know, and he's also like into drum and bass, and we're making beats, and he's into video games as well. It's just like, I don't know. It seems to be like a very tight scene. I've met a lot of metalheads who are into video games, and also the other way around. Like, I mean, I don't think you really find out there somebody who is into video games and fucking, I don't know, Taylor Swift or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, okay, no, that was a bad example. You know what? You know what? That was a bad example. I don't think Taylor Swift is that bad. I think it's pretty decent, you know. But I was actually meaning, I don't know. Let me think of someone else. I don't know, some shit pop artist that you can think of.
Nicki Minaj.
Who's that?
Nicki Minaj. There you go.
Oh, Iggy Azalea. Iggy Azalea. I don't know her, but somebody, my voice is telling me. Is she like really bad?
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
He just said she's worse than Hitler. Well, there you go. I can bet you my ball sack there's nobody who likes Iggy Azalea and video games.
No, thank God for that.
I don't even know about her. I'm gonna.
Seriously, look. All right, now, like, there's the track For Justice that you got out right now. Now, that's one thing that I noticed when I was looking through YouTube and I was trying to find the actual track itself and listen to it. There's a lot of Counter-Strike remixes from it, and Counter-Strike being a pretty popular video game. Now, I don't know if there's some DJ called Counter-Strike. I don't fucking know. I'm a metalhead, dude. I don't know. But
no, fair enough. All right, Counter-Strike is this duo. They're this duo from South Africa, and I'm pretty tight with one of the guys, and he lives in Prague right now. So, I mean, we've been friends for a long time. I was actually a huge fan of theirs. Like, well, I'll tell you what. Did you ever hear in Diesel Boy sets maybe this drum and bass track that had samples from Pantera's Walk and Slayer's Angel of Death?
I think I have, actually.
It's like this drum and bass track that everybody was playing, and it has like that riff. It's a sample.
Right.
So it was this guy called Kevin Cunningham came out with the track, and then Counter-Strike did a remix of it. So yeah, they're a duo. Actually, if you find them on Instagram, like the description of the Instagram is not the game.
Right. I was curious, man, because I kept seeing all this shit pop up with Counter-Strike. I'm like, that's a goddamn video game. And all of a sudden,
no, dude, you gotta check him out, dude. I'm telling you, if you're into metal and drum and bass, like those guys are basically one of the main reasons why Zardonic happened. You know, like they were one of the few people that had that metal and drum and bass approach. They have a different style, but when I heard that, I was like, okay, like if these guys are doing it, I gotta fucking jump on that and do it again. And that's when I decided to bring all the metal in as well. Like those guys, I have to say, if it wasn't for Counter-Strike sound, I probably wouldn't have. I probably wouldn't have done it, or maybe wouldn't have found a way to do it. Because, you know, I mean, sometimes you can innovate, but if you don't have a reference of something, It's like, it's harder to think about the idea. It's like, how would this fit? And then you hear these guys, and it's like, okay, these guys made it fit. So now I can twist it around and make it my own. But if you hear something out there that sounds like something you want to do, it's usually easier to make it, I don't know, to come into fruition.
Right. Yeah. No, you got it.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. No, I was just like, I didn't want any remixes of your stuff. Like, I wanted to hear like the original, you know. So like, I saw that name and was just like, let me go to the original. So that's cool. I'm glad I know that now. You know, that name itself, that screams video games all day long.
There you go.
Do with you, man, what I want to do, I want to close the show out with one of your songs, but I got a few bands that, like, I promised I would play on the show beforehand. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
One being, and I know you know the name of this band. Ministry.
Oh, dude, of course. Well, that's another reason why Zardonic happened. But you know what's funny?
Exactly.
I forgot, like, I don't know, I guess when I was getting into metal, I skipped in a lot of bands, and I never really knew about Ministry until, like, maybe 5 years ago. It's crazy, I know. Yeah. But this one guy told me, he's like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? I mean, I thought you'd be a fucking Ministry nut. Your shit is basically like EDM version of Ministry or something. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then I heard their stuff, and I was blown away by it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's one guy that we've been trying to get on the show, but he's been so busy right now. It's Al Jurgensen. They're working on new tunes, and they've got a movie coming out called The Bridge. And we've been trying to keep in touch with Al, but I know he's so busy. You know, I'm not going to harp on him too much until he gets here. But he promised an interview here in the early part of the year, and I'm really looking forward to that because I've listened to Ministry since I was in high school. And shit.
Yeah, dude, I know. I mean, I went through their entire discography, and I felt bad with myself. I was like, how did I miss this?
Do.
But then again, it was also because I had the only references that I had were from, like, my friends, and it's like I had, like, a different school of metal from each of them. The neighbor, like, in front of my house was, like, the classic rock and heavy metal nut. He showed me, like, Wasp, Iron Maiden, Meatloaf, all that stuff. And then there was this other guy who showed me all the black metal stuff, and then there was my brother who showed me all the death metal stuff, like Death, Cannibal Corpse, fucking Beats of Flesh, dude. I love Beats of Flesh to death. And he was the one who gave me Obscura by Gorguts. He gave me the original CD. Yeah. And I think my mom broke it apart actually or something. I was like 14 years old, and she freaked the fuck out and she broke it into pieces.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool that you knew who Gorguts was, because like a lot of like the people that have gotten into metal within the last 10 years, they have no idea who Gorguts is. But Gorguts was one of the first death metal bands, besides obviously like Death and Morbid Angel and things like that. Was one of the first bands that I got into that was death metal. And they were like, honestly, I will say this right now, and Cannibal Corpse, you know, George, if you want to come kick my ass, I welcome you to do that. But if it wasn't for Gorguts, there would be no Cannibal Corpse. Just saying. Because
I'm not sure that's worthy of. I mean, I'm not sure that's actually something like worth of kicking your ass. But I would say you're wrong.
Let me back up. All right, now I'm not saying there wouldn't be a Cannibal Corpse, but Cannibal Corpse wouldn't be the same as they are now without bands like Gorguts.
Please
that
elaborate.
Makes more sense. Yeah, let me elaborate on that shit. There would probably still be a Cannibal Corpse, but they wouldn't be the same without Gorguts. Just saying. All right, well, let me play this song. I don't know if you've ever heard this. This is actually a newer song from Ministry. This is a really, really cool track, and I'd like to see you do something with it, honestly.
Well, I love it. I mean, dude, if you're fucking friends with Al, just tell him, you know, show him my shit and be like, maybe you can do the connection and you fucking made a Zardonic remix happen for Ministry. I would be fucking stoked to do that.
I'll do whatever I can possibly do to get you in touch with Al, because he's such a good guy, and I know he would definitely appreciate what you do, because I mean, look at Ministry.
Awesome,
look what they've done for metal, like in itself in the last 20 years. I mean, Jesus. All right, well, let me go ahead and play this real quick because we've got a few tracks left, and like I said, I want to close the show out with your newest remix that you've done, which is really cool. But let's go ahead and do this real quick. This is Ministry with a newer song, I believe, from 2013. I can't remember the name of the album because I'm retarded. Whatever. This is a newer Ministry song. This song is called "Punch in the Face," and I picked this out because I thought you'd like it. So, all right, here we go.
That sounds right up my alley.
Exactly, man. All right, this is Ministry from Los Angeles, California. If you don't know who they are, you should probably punch yourself in the face.
In the fucking face.
Here we go.
All right, let's check it out.